Good morning. It's 7:15 a.m. and let's go take the ACT. Okay, ignore the crazy glare. I'm parked at Freeport High School. I'm going in just a couple of minutes. It's 7:51 now, and that being said, yeah, the doors are unlocked. It closes the doors at 8. I have my calculator, which is like right over here. I've got my admission ticket. I'm on standby status. I'm like actually waiting to find out if I get to take it, which kind of stinks. And then I've got my ID, but I don't know what it is. Like when I was driving or whenever I have something where like I have to bring certain things, I always feel like I'm forgetting something. So like on the drive, I was like double checking a stoplight. I'm like, okay, I have everything. So we'll see if I get to go to take it. And yeah, I will give an update after the test about my thoughts on it. I will not reveal any test questions or anything that would be like breaking ACT policy, but I'll review my personal thoughts.
Okay, so I have now taken the April ACT. I did a little debrief in my car, but I couldn't do it too long because you have to shut off the AC to record, and it just was getting crazy. So in this video, like you saw me kind of going into it, but now I'm going to be talking a little bit about my input on the ACT in April and what I thought about it. I have taken the enhanced ACT before, and it's been since October since I've taken it, so not crazy long. Some things that like I noticed right away is one, actually the testing group was way smaller, and I don't know if it was just like my site or not, but there was so much less people. It's like half the people, which was interesting. So kind of a high level of some things I know, and I have a colleague who took it at another site, so I'm going to kind of give a little bit what she shared too. So, of course, just a disclaimer, I'm not going to share test questions. Some kids still take the test late, but the benefit of this April ACT test is I will be given the release test, and then I will do some video walkthroughs of the actual test and explaining it and all that stuff too. What I'm also going to be launching is a $99 ACT course. I'm going to link that below. But regardless, make sure you hit subscribe so I can kind of update you, and also plan to post more videos to like help out with the ACT. So ACT English, we'll start there. So the English section, I thought it was a pretty nice one overall. My biggest thing that I noticed and that might factor into my teaching moving forward is they really focused on dashes. Like there were so many M dashes, it kind of blew my mind. I also really noticed that the questions were really specific. And so I focus on this in my prep, but moving forward, especially with my April group, we're really going to be focused on making sure we read in English the questions really closely, because I feel like there's a lot of hints in there. And of course, I haven't gotten my score back yet, but there's a lot of hints in there kind of telling you what the answer is. But I do know a lot of kids will feel stressed with time because it's a fast test, and I struggle with timing on the English section myself. But if you're not focused in on what the question is asking, then you're going to miss so many free points in there. There was lots of tone questions. Those are my favorite. I'm going to try to do more videos on that, and I have plenty of shorts with that as well. But overall, I think this English section was actually pretty nice. I did struggle a couple minutes with timing, but I think I got them all done, minus I think one I had to guess on. Okay. And then the math section, oh dear God, I like math, but this math section did not play. The stuff that really helped me is one, I did something kind of controversial where I took the test backwards. It's not something I recommend unless someone is already scoring in the 30s for math. So please don't just randomly try it out. And I did that because I like to get the heavy questions out of the way first. But I noticed that there was hard questions, even in the beginning, as I moved forward, I started second guessing myself for a second. But kind of the big things that I saw is, yes, there were a couple of tricky questions in there, but there's some field questions on the test, so those might not even be graded, and kind of wondering if that's the case. I saw a ton of statistics questions, and some that are not even AP stat, but just really based on stat, or statistics principles of how you play with a variety of options. I also saw, and I'm going to link the resource below, multiple questions that I know are in the red book because I remember doing those multiple times. So if you don't have the ACT red book, please link it, get it from my link below, or on Amazon, whatever. I have the Amazon link. the thing is, that is still, I would say, the number one thing I recommend for the ACT if you're going to purchase anything is at least get a red book. Is it perfect? No, but there's so much stuff that's repeated. A lot of kids will say that there wasn't questions they hadn't seen before. And what I've noticed with students is that they get hung up on one or two hard questions, but there is a lot of questions in there that I've recognized and that are really, really frequent and very similar to other stuff I've seen. So if you do the heavy work and really understand the material in the red book, you will get at least most of the way there. For calculator stuff, I'll link it below. I didn't use as much as my downloaded calculator programs this time. I used a lot of my built-in calculator program hacks that I talk about that course, like during the course, which, of course, at least link the video that goes over some of these, because there's a lot of like secret hacks built in to the graphing calculator, and mine made a massive difference knowing how to use it. I would have drowned, honestly, if I didn't know how to use that. So moving forward in my April ACT group, my June ACT group that I will be launching soon, I will be going really hard into stat. It's just needed. A lot of kids struggle with it, and I don't want to negate it. And I'm going to start pulling more trick questions. I have access to 25 older ACT tests that are slightly different, but some of the questions are similar, so I'll be pulling some of those too, just so that we have some good death math. And I will hopefully post a death math video on this channel too. Crossing my fingers. Okay, so now the reading section. That one surprised me, and I talked to one of my colleagues who took it as well that day, and she has a master's in English, so she's like way more on the English side than I am. But what we both noticed is the reading comprehension level was actually kind of lower on the test. Like it felt like a 10th grade reading level instead of normally they'll pull some college level passages. But the questions were trickier, which kind of blew my mind. So like I understood the passage really well, and if you've asked me to write an essay in the passage, that would have been easy. But the questions were so dang nitty gritty. And my theory is the second passage, which I believe had a chart, is going to be the not graded passage, because if you didn't know, on the ACT, on the reading section, they don't grade one of the passages. So I like look through it, and I always like look through the ones that are either 2 or 3. Those typically are one of the ones not graded, and a lot of times if it's a chart, it's not going to be graded, although I thought the chart one was easy. And that's the one I spent the least amount of time on because I knew I was scrambling. One of the things, if you're an adult watching this, what's really interesting is some of the kids have a leg up on me on the reading speed, because like, yes, I prep this all the time and I prep on timing, but I have become a naturally slower reader with time. I used to read a ton of just books, and I just don't spend as much time reading, which maybe I need to change that. I don't know. But if you're an adult watching this for your kid, let me know if you feel like your reading speed has slowed down, because even in one-on-one stuff, like I know my content really well, but the kids will smoke me in reading speed. And so that's what messes me up on the test, like taking it in standard timing. Like I wish they had like a time and a half option for people over 30, but that's okay. Okay, in the science section, like, I don't know what it was. I either did not have enough coffee or I was on E. I didn't eat as much as I normally do in the morning too. That kind of messed it up. The science section, I feel like I ran out of gas. Maybe it was just a lot of questions, and it wasn't more than normal. There's 40 questions in 40 minutes, but I struggled with my timing big time on that one. What I did is I jumped around on the passages, and there's 1 or 2 that I didn't put in as much effort just due to speed and due to timing. I don't coach the science section in my group. At some point, I do want to post a YouTube video. And the reason I personally don't coach the science section is I'm in Florida, and so science is still recognized by Bright Futures for the scholarship. But a lot of Florida and Southern schools are completely ignoring the ACT science, so it just doesn't make sense. I don't prep on it that much anymore, even though I have a science degree. And I just thought, honestly, I thought it was too fast. And ACT, you can hear this, I thought the science section was too fast, but I'm classically trained in science, so I like to take my time and analyze. And so that's what hurts my soul a little bit, is I love to be slow in this. So I've dropped some links below if you want some extra support. I'm really curious about if you took it or your kid took it, like how it went, their feedback. And of course, we'll hopefully on score day, I'll do a little bit of breakdown, and I want to explain score reports better, especially when this score is released, so that you can make a better plan for you or your kid about what type of support you need moving forward on this test. So let me know what you think in the comments. I personally am actually going to take the June ACT test with an adult group because I'll be at a really big national conference for the ACT and the SAT. And we'll see how that test is different, and I'll provide an update. But I hope to see you soon.